A lot of talk about what Cody Bellinger can and should get. I have a rare guest on this Friday episode. Let's go.
You are Locked On Cubs, your daily Chicago Cubs podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
You are Locked On Cubs, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. I'm Sam Olber. I'm also alongside Matt Cozy for this episode. Don't think I've ever read this when he's been around. Please support the show by following on your preferred audio platform. And you can watch, subscribe, and leave a comment on YouTube. Thanks so much for making us your first listen. We are lifelong fans taking our passion into a discussion with you on all things Cubs. Today's Friday episode is brought to you by Jace Medical. Empower yourself when you purchase a Jace case, providing you with a personal supply of 5 antibiotics that treat 50-plus infections. Get yours today at jacemedical.com. That's JASE medical.com. Happy Friday to you. Matt Cozy is joining us on a Friday, which is
pleased
a nice
to be with you.
Change of pace, and I'm interested in what hoodie he's wearing. It seems like one that he hasn't worn on the show very often, but that's neither here nor.
It's a Tim Dillon hoodie, the comedian.
Right. And I don't know who that is. So, happy Friday, everybody. Look, a lot to get to. One of the most, Matthew, significant weeks in our show's history, if not
6 shows,
if not the most significant.
Oh, it's not even close.
Week in our show's history. How are you feeling right now before we get into Bellinger stuff? I mean, give us a quick reflection on the week, unless you're saving that for best and worst. And the Bears kick off soon.
Yeah, I'm elated. I would say I'm at like a 9.5 right now, maybe a 9.7 with the Cubs. I am somebody that gets jacked up for the offseason, and the way that the rumors and the speculation started, it was not even 24 hours before we had that Pete Alonso rumor about 5 weeks ago. And from there, I have been looking forward to around this time, and especially the winter meetings within the next 4 or 5 weeks. But what happened Monday was a massive game changer, and it wasn't on my radar. It wasn't on anybody's radar. I think that's what makes it even more exciting or even better. But a lot of exciting times right now for this team, who we already thought was going to be competitive. Now you add one of the best managers in the game. It seems like Ohtani is their number one target, and we'll go from there.
And the Ohtani episode is making waves around the world. So, all right, let's transition. Let's transition into Cody Bellinger. Scott Boras, client. Lot of news around him. Matt, I don't know if you saw this during your busy day, but I put out a poll, I believe it was yesterday.
Okay.
What is your biggest offseason priority as a Cubs fan? I said a top-tier bat, top-tier arm, re-sign Cody Bellinger, other. And I had almost 900 votes.
Oh, yeah. Wow.
And, it turned out to be top-tier bat, but Bellinger was up there. And so let's just get this out, right?
That's a good question.
There's some reports. What was the report? 12 for 2.6. What was it? 12 for 2 something.
A few of them. The one that's the most outlandish, Sam, is the MLB trade rumors.
Yeah.
12 years for 264,
right?
Which is only a 22 M's AAV. But the thing is,
right,
that 12 years is double than the other 3 projections that are out for years.
No, and I want
other projections are 6 and 7 years.
And I want to put up. I tweeted this out November 7th. Okay, and this is what I tweeted in response to that, Matthew.
All right.
I've been asked this a lot today. Yes. I saw the one projection of Bellinger getting 12 for 264. If you think/want the Cubs to do that deal, I don't think you have their long-term best interest in mind. That length of time would be absurd, period. That was from Sam Olber, at Sam Olber on X or Twitter or whatever you call it.
Right.
Look, I get that fans are fanatics, okay? I would like Cody Bellinger back at a fair year and price. 7 for 160, 6 for 170, all that stuff. You do not make a 12-year financial commitment to a player that has had one good season and 2 or 3 horrific seasons since 2019.
Yeah, it still makes me a little bit nervous to go at that high with anybody, but you have a player who has been the best player in baseball and the worst. This year he wasn't in the middle. He was more of an upper echelon guy. He just won the Silver Slugger Thursday night.
Did he really?
Yeah. He won the Silver Slugger about an hour ago. We're recording here at 7
For
p.m.
center
Central.
field, for center field or utility?
Utility.
So who got it? It's okay. Forget it. Go ahead.
And center field and first base, he's been Gold Glove-esque. He has speed and smarts on the bases. You know, he is worth an investment. How much would it take? Which would be a great episode title. I don't think it's going to take 200 M's. MLB trade rumors historically has been they've done this before. You know, 264 for 12 is outlandish on paper, and I don't think it's going to get close to that. And I don't think there's going to be that many teams in on him. I think it's going to be Cubs, Giants, and Yankees. Maybe the Red Sox with Breslow get in on there. But the market, while competitive, I think it's going to be small, and I think it's going to even out in terms of finances, especially given his position status. You know, is he going to play center? Is he going to play first? We'll see.
I don't appreciate you taking a dig at my title, dude. You know what I mean? Fine.
Well, you haven't made it yet.
How much will it take Cody Bellinger to the Cubs?
Yeah. Good.
I agree with everything you said. I just think it's ridiculous. Look, if the Cubs are going to bring back Cody Bellinger, like the one caution I have for fans is don't be that fan or be that fan. You're allowed to fan how you want, but if we don't extend Bellinger, we don't want to win. You know, it's like, I don't want Bellinger back at a 12-year deal. And if you do, maybe you don't want them to win long term. And so, you know, like I said, let's talk numbers. 7 for 170, 6 for 160, higher AAV, less years.
Well, what about the Swanson deal? 7 for 177.
Yeah, I'd be fine with that. It's just, to me, with Bellinger, I would really feel more comfortable if PCA was somehow dealt. And I don't mean like I want PCA to be dealt. I'm just saying in the sense with Bellinger's deal. Okay. I'd like to pay that amount of money for a center fielder rather than a first baseman. That's just kind of my take on it. Right. And I would say this, like, I hate how one great year changes everything. Like, I listen, Cody Bellinger's a cool dude, got no bones with him, want him back in the Cubs. Let that man get his money. But it's so crazy how he could be that awful. And then he hits, you know, he has a really, really great season. And all of a sudden now, snap your fingers, he's worth 200 M's. It's just, I want Cody Bellinger back at the right price. If the Cubs don't bring him back and he signs a 7 for 177 with the Giants, it's very fair to be upset. If the Cubs don't bring him back and he signs a 10 for 260 with the Giants, see ya. Like, you know what I mean? Like right. Good luck. Like, I'm sorry. And I think that's the way you have to look at it. And I think the biggest thing, Matt, is Cody Bellinger, Jed Hoyer has really been pretty sound with this stuff. He really gauges the market well. He knows what guys are worth. He's very shrewd. And I just trust him in this process. And my guess is, if you want a prediction, I think if all things are equal, he will come back here. If a team gets desperate, like the Yankees or Giants, I always call it the Carlos Boozer situation. Yeah. If you remember that 2010 free agent season, you had LeBron, D. Wade, Bosch. I even think Stoudemire maybe, and the Bulls were in on all of them. And then they're like, all right, well, we got to go get somebody. So they went and paid a ton of Boozer just to get somebody. Shout out to Carlos Boozer. I got no beef with him. But I'm just saying, that like a team, like if the Giants or Yankees strike out on everybody, then they might just overpay Bellinger just to say they got somebody.
Yes.
And so in that case, that's where you could be in trouble. And from Bellinger's perspective, there's really no point to sign early. Wait as long as you can, milk the market, make people desperate. We all know how that goes. That's just business 101. So,
and especially the Giants, because they offered Judge, they offered Correa, they didn't get them. So I think they could get in a desperate spot this winter. And I decided today, Sam, that I don't think Bellinger's going to go to January or February. I think that most of the market is going to be done between now and the end of the calendar year.
really?
And what's crazy is that's only about 7 weeks.
Wow.
The next 7 weeks, I think not only the Cubs will be transformed, but many other ball clubs.
And your rationale behind that is go Bears?
I just like, calendars. I think within the 2023 timeframe.
Well, there's something pretty big going on for you around the calendar year.
Right.
But anyway, look.
But Sam, if they don't get Bellinger, who plays center on March 28th?
Yeah, God bless you.
Is
what I mean?
PCA ready to be on a contending team on March 28th?
Well, based on his offensive plate appearances at the end of the year, I don't think he's ready to hit, at Palomino over at Emmerich and Buffalo Grove. So, I don't know about that.
Well, I think it's a risk.
My guess, it would be either PCA, somebody from outside the org, or Talkman.
Well, and there's a player that I haven't heard connected to the Cubs until MLB.com. Mark Feinsand mentioned him as a possible fit, and as in a combination of players.
And we're going to talk about that coming up next. This Friday episode is brought to you by Jace Medical. We spend a lot of time talking together, you and I. We get fired up together on wins and losses. Lord knows that's true. Who starts and who sits. I'm thankful for the connection that we have. And today I want our chat to be a little bit more personal. Whether you're on extended travel, bracing for a major weather event, or limited yet on another supply shortage, you are covered, my friend. Thanks to our partners at Jace Medical. Life-saving antibiotics and a long list of daily medications can be ordered in a 1-year supply. Even ED generics for Cialis and Viagra prescriptions. Go online right now at jacemedical.com to receive your 12-month supply on your daily medication. Remember to use promo code LOCKEDON and check out for a discount as well. A verified customer had this to say about Jace. I am thankful for this service. Supply chain issues caused me to cut pills in half to have it. I ordered most of my daily meds with a year supply. I also ordered antibiotic kits. I feel secure now. Prices are lower than local pharmacies. I highly recommend this for everyone. If you or someone you love get some peace of mind by having a year supply of any daily medication, go to jacemedical.com to see if it's offered for you. Remember to use promo code LOCKEDON for $20 off your purchase. We are back here on Locked On Cubs, and I'm with Matt Cozy, who I've only met Mondays through Thursdays. And I guess he teased us. He had a teaser for us before the break, and I'm just going to toss it over to him and maybe take another sip of my juice.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm going to be back on Fridays at some point.
Oh, that's breaking news to me. Maybe share with me off the air.
Mondays will be another story.
Oh, just keep breaking news to me. It's our show. You just save it for on air. What are you gonna tell me next? That you're right outside my door right now to watch this Bears-Panthers game? By the time we're done recording, it's gonna be 7-0 Carolina.
Oh, I hope not. All right, so the Cubs have been connected to as many as a dozen players in free agency. We talked Ohtani, Yamamoto, Bellinger. They have been mentioned for Nola, Chapman, Candelario, Turner,
Mark Gray, Sammy Sosa, Mike
the
Schmidt.
other two Japanese pitchers, Sam Iminaga and Matsui, as well. But MLB.com's Mark Feinsand had 3 notables that I have not seen anywhere else. Jordan Montgomery, lefty starting pitcher.
Great pitcher.
Designated hitter, Jorge Soler. And here's your possible center fielder, Sam, on March 28th.
Is that how Soler's name's pronounced?
Harrison Bader. What do you think about that?
So there's a lot there. I need a minute. When you say Mark Feinstein connected? Like was he just mentioned the Cubs with these guys?
Yes, as
But
best
but but
fits.
but how many teams did he mention?
3 or 4 per.
Okay. Because according to John
Not a
Heyman,
laundry list. Not a laundry list.
according to John Heyman, he wouldn't be surprised if the Cubs went out and found a way to reincarnate Mickey Mantle.
Well, yeah, I know it's that time of year where you have a lot of
no,
this.
but it's not only that time of year. The Cubs have been literally Yamamoto. That became public today. The Cubs are in on Yamamoto.
But he might get posted on Monday.
The Cubs are in on Ohtani. The Cubs are in on Stan the Man Musial. I mean, there's so many guys the Cubs are in on. I can't even keep track. But I think those would be
Ken Griffey Jr. and Sr.
Look, to bring back an old phrase from our offseason last year, there's a little diet soda. Look, if you can't re-sign Bellinger and you get Bader instead, that's diet soda, except or unless you, and for those who are wondering, the diet soda analogy is like it's just not as good as the real thing. Clearly, I mean,
Love it.
Shouldn't really have to explain that.
No, that's good.
But listen, I'm cool with Harrison Bader if it means, you know what, we couldn't re-sign Bellinger and we traded PCA and we got Soto back. So
or a bridge to PCA.
Yeah, or a bridge to PCA. But let me tell you this: who would you rather have, Juan Soto and Harrison Bader, or Cody Bellinger and PCA? That's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer for me. It's the former. Then I would go, I don't know. I mean, I think PCA I just think Juan Soto's one of the, has a chance to be like an all-timer.
You're right. But he's only around for 1 year.
No. Anytime I mention Juan Soto, we're assuming they extend him.
Okay.
They make that trade without extending him. That's in Bears territory. Be nice to see Montez Sweat touch the quarterback tonight.
Too many Bears drivers.
Sorry. It's just about to start,
On Amazon, no less.
Soler, I don't think so.
Okay. Yeah, you're not interested in a reunion with his services?
No, but I really like Jordan Montgomery.
That would be a great signing.
I know he's not a big bat misser, and he's more of the Justin Steele type of bulldog, but that man could pitch in big games any day.
Yeah.
So I'd be a real big fan of that. I just can't believe, like, the one thing I almost feel sorry for with Hoyer is he has to deliver some guys this year because the Cubs are in on every name.
Mm-hmm.
Last year it was like that only for the shortstops, really. It was
that was it. That was the only guys.
Right, we know we're going to get one of these shortstops. Now there's all of them. And like I said, to me, Matthew, it has to be one of Ohtani, Soto, Yamamoto, or Alonso. And
that's a great list.
And I wouldn't be upset, okay, like if they went out and got one of them and then that clears it, then you could go get a Montgomery or somebody a little less, but who knows? The market's going to be interesting. Montgomery could easily get a 3-digit plus number.
And Rhys Hoskins is out there.
People have asked me about that.
He might get a 1-year deal.
You made that episode.
Yeah, Hoskins at first, Soto DHing in the left.
Or
PCA in center.
Well, I'd like to say this. If Soto is on the team and Suzuki's going to DH.
Okay.
I think there's something up there. I don't think that fly ball thing was like a coincidence.
But Soto hasn't played right for a while now.
Yeah, I know. I think Soto is just the type
but he could do it for 81 games at Wrigley.
Yeah, I just don't think.
But away, he's not going to be able to be out there.
I just don't think Soto is the type of guy that's going to want to change his routine. I just think if you give him his money, if he wants to hit, he's going to hit. I mean, if he wants to field, he's going to field.
Yeah.
I just think he's one of those guys. You just like what if he says, "Hey, Jed, man, like fielding is just a part of my hitting routine. What are you going to do? Tell him no? You're investing $350 million. You know what I mean?
Could you put Soto at first?
I don't know about that. Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Okay.
I'm just like the whole right field Suzuki thing. I need a minute on that.
I hadn't thought about that in a while.
That was a real thing. Like and he had that happen in Dodger Stadium, and let's just keep
leave it at that.
Yeah. So. All right. Well, want to do a little best and worst?
Yeah, we haven't done it in a while.
All right. Well, coming up next, we are going to do a little best and worst. Play the music. I don't know how to do that. Okay. Best and worst of the week. We are back. What if I start? No, this kind of sounds weird. All right, best and worst of the week. I mean, do we do? I mean, it's obvious what our best is. So should we?
Yeah,
go
a little bit of baseball initially.
All right, you go first. I'll play off you because I didn't really do my homework.
Council to Cubs. Remember that?
Wait, what?
We reminded everybody at the top of this episode, but yeah, I think seeing your text was a little bit. It was alarming. I checked Twitter very quickly, saw a couple tweets, got off, called you right away. And I think I will remember my reaction to that for a while. It's massive.
Sure.
It's massive, and it could change the trajectory of this franchise like it did prior to 15.
My best of the week, shout out to my dad. He was he had a hip thing and he was in a rehab facility for a while. And this past Wednesday, he is now home.
Oh,
so
awesome.
he's back. He's back to work. I think this upcoming Tuesday.
Okay.
So he's been my dad usually listens to the show, but he's not an everydayer. But when he was in this place, he became one because there wasn't much else to do. So he's been watching the show. So I'm assuming he's watching this. So awesome. Shout out to my padre, and glad you're back home. And sorry that everything stinks with these clubs, but the Cubs are going to be pretty good soon. So
yeah. Let's forget about the other teams.
Worst of the week.
Oh, it's easy. Jason Benetti leaving the White Sox for the Tigers. Another story you broke to me this week, Sam. What the heck is that about? He got the job 8 years ago. He's one of the best broadcasters in the country. He has a deal with Fox. And they had a spat last year around this time. Can I do the 120 games, whatever it was? The Sox were offended. That obviously had repercussions so much so that Benetti's like, I don't need this. Why do I need this aggravation in my life? I'm one of the best in my field.
Yeah.
I don't care if I was a diehard fan, grew up in the South Burbs. I'm done.
Lifelong Chicago guy, Chicago Sox fan, leaves for the rival team.
A team in the division that's not even a high-profile team.
No, a boring team.
For an RSN, Bally, that has, they're in the headlines every day. They've missed out on deals with the Padres, the D-backs. So in an ever-changing media industry, it was just a shock.
And yeah, I honestly, that was mine. So I'll just say my worst of the week, I thought, was just
Why would you be a White Sox fan?
No. My worst of the week is just the way
where's Len?
He's going to stay on the radio
Let's
until
do an episode on him next week. Could Len Casper return to the Chicago Cubs?
No, he said he's sticking to radio. So unless Pat Hughes retires, he should be back to the Cubs, and we should do a Boog thing pretty soon because part of the Cubs being ready to win should be getting a guy that actually cares about them winning.
I'm greedy now.
Right. Well, I'd like you and I to call the games.
Okay.
My worst of the week was just the way the David Ross thing was handled by some of the professional media members. I thought that was really unhealthy and not good. And I'm just going to leave it at that because
we documented that.
We documented that already. But yeah, that's it. Heck of a show. Thanks for joining me on this Friday. You make my life easier. I'm appreciative of you. This was one of the best weeks, if not the best week we've ever had in the show's history. And I cannot wait to continue it with you and continue it with all the everydayers. And let's hope that we have another weekend like last weekend where I just jump into Monday with tons of news, dude.
Yeah, no, absolutely, Sam. And for all the Arizona listeners, there is going to be a meetup of sorts in Phoenix Friday night.
Right.
So please hit me up on Twitter at Matt_Cozy, at me or DM me. Likely in the Phoenix area about 9:30 Arizona time. Thank you.
Have a wonderful and safe trip, and I'll be welcoming you back with open arms.
Oh, very good.
Shout out to the Everydayers who are with us all 5 episodes throughout the week, and you can become an Everydayer by checking us out each and every weekday. Be sure to hit that subscribe button for Locked On Cubs on YouTube and smash the like button for the algorithm. We're also on Apple, Spotify, and wherever you get your podcasts and streaming on SiriusXM. I'm Sam Olver. He is Matt Cozy, and this is Locked On Cubs.